The Terminator Final Judgment, a setup-oriented big damage variation. What's up guys, Blitz here today bringing you another Terminator video. In today's video we're going to be talking about probably my favorite variation, Final Judgment. This variation is pretty interesting and at first may seem a bit overwhelming, but once you get things down, you will see so many possibilities that you're not going to want to go back. Unlike his other variations, you can actually combo off of any string. You do lose some damage, but overall, thanks to the setups and mix-ups, you can get it to actually get more damage overall if done properly. You lose the air grab, the shotgun projectile, and the low overhead special moves, but these bombs can make your playstyle evolve beyond what you were doing previously. This variation can easily put opponents in reset damage situations and set up for meterless, bomb launcher, and high pressure. Incapacitator replaces the sawed-off projectile, but it's an unblockable move that when landed prevents your opponents from doing any attacks that require meter. This includes wake-up attacks as well as forward and backward rolls. When used properly, this can lock your opponents down, and the rolling ion grenades can extend combos to maximize crazy damage. If you master and land this perfectly, your opponent will lose their entire life bar if you keep the pressure up. The game plan is to end combos early with Incapacitator and then choose to either go forward 2 for overhead pressure or forward 3-2 for low overhead pressure. Special cancel into ion grenades and continue combos from the pop-up. I don't see a lot of videos talking about this variation, which makes me believe a lot of people are really sleeping on this one. So in this video, I want to break it down as best as possible while helping you guys understand and master this variation. Let me know in the comments below how you guys have been liking Terminator so far, and also if you have any other ideas or suggestions for this variation, be sure to share them in the comments below. This variation does not have much representation, so I encourage you guys to share your tips and let's take it even further beyond. Before we get into this video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any other Terminator or Mortal Kombat videos, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content. And lastly, hit that like button if you enjoyed because it so greatly helps me out and will get this variation the exposure that it needs. As mentioned before, Final Judgment does remove Sawed Off, which is your full screen shotgun projectile. Losing this does remove a crushing blow that you had in the other variation, but that's okay because the mix-up potential makes up for it. In this video, I won't be covering his normal buttons or his combo strings all over again because they do not change in this variation. Click the card on the top right for the previous video with timestamps that explains all of these moves for you guys. Now onto his special moves. Incapacitator travels full screen and is an unblockable projectile that deals 30 damage on hit. While this debuff is on your opponent, they can't use any meter moves such as amplifies, wake-up attacks, or even breakaways. Special cancel this into any of your strings or end your combos early with it to frustrate and pressure your opponents. The more you keep this on them, the more advantage you have on offense. Also, if you notice, when you use this, one of the grenades on your hip will be used. This is a cool little indicator to show you how much you have access to at that moment. But what I find strange is that when you're facing certain stances with the Terminator, you can't always see the grenades and they switch legs. It's much easier to see these grenades without his jacket on, so be aware of which skin you choose. Gorilla Press Slam is a command throw that is default to all variations for the Terminator. You can amplify it and press down to do less damage, but it keeps your opponent in front of you in a restand to reset combos. It's a great combo ender and can be amplified to do more damage, but throws the opponent full screen. Whenever possible, try to end your combos with this for maximizing damage. Rolling Ion Grenade is a projectile that can be thrown multiple distances, mid-screen, close, and full screen. Meterless, this can actually lead to full combos and great pressure when locking down opponents. When it's amplified, it actually blows up immediately. This is your main combo extender for this variation. It reminds me a lot of Cyrax and Red Hood's bombs, which is probably why I like them so much. Just like Incapacitator, it uses the bombs that are on your hip. You can use 2 ion grenades, but once they are gone, you have to wait for at least one of them to come back before you can use it again. This is sort of a realistic way to balance this move, I guess. You can use both Incapacitator and Ion Grenades in tandem, but you will have to wait for at least one of them to respawn before you can use it again, or until Incapacitator wears off the opponent. Killing Machine is also in the Destroyer variation. Terminator turns his back and absorbs incoming projectiles. This move can be held for a pretty long time and is possibly the best reflector in this game next to Shang Tsung's Smoke. You take no damage for any projectiles that hit you while you're in this move. One normal move I want to talk about is Back 1. Back 1 is a 2-hitting normal move that has an anti-air throw as a second hit. When done quickly, you can actually cancel the second hit into a special move. But to make things even easier, say for example if you press back 1 then forward 1 plus 1, or 3 to get Incapacitator or Ion Grenade to cancel seamlessly into it. Learning how to do this input is key for this variation and will make inputting combos consistent and much easier. Just press back 1 then forward 1 or forward 3 immediately after. This shortcut is a must learn for this variation and will benefit you guys a long way. I use back 1 for my iron grenades because it pops the enemies up high enough to get a jump 2 punch for more damage and screen carry overall. You want to try to get your opponents in the corner and keep them there as much as possible. That's how you're going to get a lot of damage and mileage out of this character's variation. This is not the most optimal damage-wise, but consistently it's easier to land, and I think having a higher success rate will ultimately lead to more damage overall. Using ion grenades and block strings can provide pressure, but the opponent can beat this option. If you are hit while the ion grenade is out, it actually disappears. But this early on, a lot of your opponents won't really know that, but it's best to not make it a bad habit. Forward 2 is an unsafe overhead at -17. However, when it's landed, you have a lot of advantage frames, meaning you can move first. This can be used to lock down your opponent and get setups going. If you hit them with the incapacitator, they won't be able to use a wake-up attack, making your approach safer. And if you toss out a non-amplified ion grenade, you are super plus, meaning you can pressure them with almost any approach. They will have to eat a grab as well, making this a solid option for closing out matches, especially if you're at a meter and they're not blocking high. This is a super high risk, ultimate reward kind of setup that you should use at your own risk. It's a gamble, but a goddamn good one if it lands. Before we get into any combos, I want to also point out that all of these combos are possible in the corner. However, you have to use the close ion grenade input in order to land these combos in the corner. The regular input will be too far out of reach, so keep that in mind when doing the corner combos. When it comes to combos, he can get anything going off of any of his strings thanks to ion grenade. Obviously, the better choices are 4-3-2 or 4-2 for the mix-up potential, but using 1-2-1 is solid also because it is his fastest punish string at 7 frames. It's also safe on block, and is a forward advancing string that leaves your opponent standing, so make sure to punish your opponents with this. Remember, you have freedom when it comes to combo routes in this variation, so explore all of your options. I don't recommend amplifying a second ion grenade to continue combos. The damage you get from that is okay, but you're way better off using the command throw amplify to reset and get some setups going. Be really creative with your approach and try your best to keep Incapacitator always active so your opponent can't wake up or break away. This reset combo goes from one corner to the other and can even kill your opponent's entire life bar. Be sure to use YouTube's slow motion feature so you can better see these if it helps you guys out. The 2-1 string only combos if you do the close amplified ion grenade, so keep that in mind. The main reason this variation is my favorite is because of the flexibility it offers. You can choose to go for big combos if you want to, but you could also go for really powerful bomb setups and resets, all the while locking your opponent down with Incapacitator, then mixing them up from low overhead or looping them back into strings. All of the ion grenades are super plus on block, so if you want to use them in block strings, you can, but at your own risk since you can be hit out of it. But the best use of ion grenades are after you end a string or knock your opponent back far away and place one of them on them, so on wake up they have to either block it or try to dodge it. Then you could pressure them or mix them up depending on how you see them block, or even just go for a grab. The next best thing is in the neutral. When they're mid-screen, you can actually place one at their feet, and if they block, you can continue to pressure them and go in. I know for some of you guys it can be a lot to take in, and the concept may seem a bit weird at first, but comment below any concerns you guys may have because I'm more than happy to explain things a little bit further or even go into practice sessions with you guys. This variation is super rushdown and blew my expectations way out there because I had no idea the Terminator could actually play like this. I have a feeling that this variation will slightly receive a nerf, but until then, master this and keep pressuring people into making mistakes and locking them down. Based on my previous video, be sure to use Terminator's down 1 because it is the fastest poke in the game and the fastest move overall at 6 frames. If people are constantly pressuring you and getting in your face, do not try to punish or attack with forward 3 or forward 2. Yes, these are mix-ups, but they have significantly longer startup frames compared to 1-2-1 or down 1 poke at 6 frames. Use your pokes to interrupt your opponent and space forward 3-2 or forward 2 strings from a mid-screen distance when you have the advantage. And then special cancel into your ion grenades and continue combos and pressuring them when you knock them down. The true strength for this variation lies within the reset and bomb setups for mixing up your opponent. Always try to keep your approach options fresh, be smart, and do not overcommit and waste your meter. Try to save one bar just in case so you can go for some command throw amplified resets. This is a big tool for Terminator to have access to and can really steamroll your opponents if used properly. That about wraps it up for resets. There are many more you guys can get going, but I just wanted to showcase a few, and right here are actual combos you can pull off for this variation. Some of them will be sort of based on ones from earlier in this video, but will do a bit more damage because they are off of crushing blows and even fatal blows. If you guys do give Terminator a shot, please try out this variation. With the right mindset, you could blow up even the most disciplined players. Resets and setups are not always guaranteed to work, but you guys should learn quite a few of these. The comeback factor that the Terminator can pull off in this variation is ridiculous, so never give up during fights, and always remember, with the right pressure and reads, you can achieve almost anything. I may have gone a bit ham with the amount of combos included here, but I wanted to make sure you guys have a lot of routes that you can take. If you are still having any troubles at all with this character, be sure to leave a comment below and ask me anything. I'm always happy to answer questions and even help you guys out, so ask away if there's anything at all. Sometimes it's best to keep it simple, and if you're having trouble landing a specific combo, sacrificing 3 or 4% damage is not too bad as long as you can consistently land it another way. There's some really optimal damaging opportunities you can get out of this, but it's not worth it if you can't land it 8 out of 10 times. And that's how I play fighting games. If there's something that is deemed optimal, but it's way too inconsistent for me to land, I'd rather opt to use a simpler version and sacrifice the damage. In this variation, since the damage opportunities are not as crazy as the others, it's just fine to go ahead and take the reset route. Resets and setups ultimately do more damage anyways and can really throw your opponent off their game. So far from what I've seen with the Terminator and what he can really do, I truly believe he is a top tier character. They have yet to disappoint with any of the DLC characters, so it's making me that much more excited to see how Sindel is going to play and even Spawn. The best part about this is if they follow that trend, then Joker, when he finally comes out, will actually be good, because in past games he really wasn't. If you guys have any other routes, resets, or even recommendations for this video, don't be afraid to let me know. I want to not only improve my gameplay, but I want my guys to be the best they possibly can. So again, if there's anything, let me know in the comments below. Who are you guys most excited for in Combat Pack 1? I'm still hoping that Combat Pack 2 will feature more classic characters, so hopefully we get to see fan favorites like Ermac, Reptile, and even Melina. NRS did say that they're going to support this game for a lot longer, so I really hope they take advantage with these opportunities. With that being said, that about wraps it up for this video, guys. I want to start uploading more gameplay and rank videos, so let me know if that's something you guys are interested in seeing. I want to not only make these guys, but show you guys the knowledge I'm teaching you guys and how it translates into actual gameplay. For me, I really love fighting game characters that have massive reset damage potential, so Terminator is definitely up my alley and I plan to play him a lot, especially this variation. Up next is Dark Fate. That's the one with the command throw crushing blow that can lead to some crazy ass damage. It's also the most popular choice I see many players online or even on YouTube choosing for the Terminator. I just hope that this video gets enough exposure so many people can see the true power and potential that Final Judgment has. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new. More Mortal Kombat and Terminator videos are coming soon, so hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. My name is Blitz and thanks for watching.